When you miss a putt, the error is right in front of you. You see the ball lip out, adjust your grip, and try again. But when you sit down to study and fail to retain the material, the process is completely invisible. Your brain is making trillions of microscopic connections, and there is no direct feedback loop to show exactly which thought pattern failed. To fix those internal errors, elite learners rely on a skill called metacognition, which simply means thinking about your own thinking. It allows you to step back and understand exactly why you are struggling in real time. Over the next 5 minutes, we are going to build a physical tool to make your internal focus visible. You only need 3 things: a blank piece of paper, a pen, and a queued-up study task. Externalizing your cognitive state onto paper provides the visibility needed to adjust your mental effort. Step 1 is the physical setup. Clear away any clutter from your workspace and place your blank piece of paper and pen directly in front of you. Take your pen and draw a bold, vertical line straight down the center of the page. At the top of the left column, write a large A to stand for active. At the top of the right column, write a large P to stand for passive. This simple T-chart is your baseline interface. You will keep it next to you during your upcoming deep work session to track your brain's invisible shifts in focus. Before we start working, we need to define our terms. The passive state is a low-effort mode where your brain isn't fully engaged. If you are simply reading a textbook or highlighting sentences, you are slipping into this trap. This graphic shows the difference in mental effort. On the left is that passive state, low cognitive load. On the right is the active state. It requires high cognitive load because you are forcing your brain to manipulate, question, and reorganize information. To launch your study session, choose a specific active strategy. A great starting point is to read your material with the strict intent of teaching it to someone else immediately afterward. Set that intention right now. With that high-effort mindset locked in, place your very first tally mark in the A column of your tracker. Starting off with an active strategy is critical. It establishes a high-effort baseline, ensuring that when your focus eventually drops, you will feel the difference immediately. No one can maintain peak active focus indefinitely. It is biologically impossible, and your brain will inevitably drift. You will start to recognize the physical and mental symptoms of this drift. You might find yourself rereading the exact same paragraph for 5 minutes, or realize you've been thinking about dinner instead of your assignment. The exact moment you realize you have drifted, stop what you are doing. Completely halt the study task. Turn to your T-chart and place a tally mark in the P column. Right next to that tally, write down a 1 or 2 word note identifying exactly what triggered the distraction. Did your phone buzz? Were you hungry? If you try this and discover you spent 90% of your time in a passive state on day 1, do not get discouraged. Catching the drift means your internal radar is working perfectly. By identifying and logging these specific triggers, you turn a vague feeling of distraction into concrete data. You can then use that data to anticipate distractions and defend your focus in future sessions. Once you have logged a drift, do not simply go back to reading. Returning to the exact same cognitive strategy that just failed is a guaranteed way to drift again. Instead, you need to abruptly switch to a new, higher-effort cognitive strategy to shock your brain back into engagement. Use tactics that require physical or vocal effort. You could start mind mapping the concepts on a separate sheet, summarize the last page out loud, or quickly quiz yourself on key terms. Only after you have successfully re-engaged with this new tactic, place a fresh tally mark in the A column. This forced pivot creates a deliberate spike in cognitive load. It proves you have successfully wrestled control back from your brain's default passive state. At the end of your study session, your paper is going to look messy. It will be full of P tallies, scratched out notes, and specific trigger words. Every tally and scratch out represents a moment of awareness, turning a chaotic hour of work into a dataset you can analyze. This timeline charts your path to mastering the skill. For your first month, focus entirely on practicing this tracking. That jagged line represents the effort it takes to reliably build a radar for your passive states. By weeks 5 and 6, your radar is sharp. Transitioning back to the active state stops being a struggle and becomes an automatic, stabilized reflex. Mastering these internal signals allows you to catch errors before they waste hours of study. Put this radar to the test during your next deep work session.